My name is Nancy Scott. I'm the Education Projects Manager, and we will be featuring these roundtables every month. I am going to turn it over to Yolanda. We're doing advocacy this month. Yolanda Brisbane is our grassroots manager, and she will introduce our guests at the roundtable. Thank you, Yolanda.
Nancy, thank you as always. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another segment of Dialysis Patient Citizens Education Center's Roundtable Talk. It is going to be good, so I hope you're in a comfortable space to receive a ton of information, great conversation, and inspiration. As the grassroots manager here at DPC, I have the distinct privilege of being one of the first people to engage with our patients across the country and members. And in doing that each day, I am inspired. I learn, and it encourages me to not only do more, but to give more and be more. And today, I have the honor of sharing this space and this time with two incredible members and patient ambassadors who you will meet shortly. But before we do that, I just want to let you know that today we will take a deep dive into advocacy efforts here at Dialysis Patient Citizens and the impact of the patient voice and what true patient-led advocacy looks and feels like. So welcome again. Thank you for joining us, and get ready. It's going to be good. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce our two guests for the day. One is a patient ambassador turned board member, and she'll speak a little bit about that process. And that is Marita Borjoli, who is an ambassador out of the state of New York. We're also joined by an experienced and dedicated patient ambassador, Jennifer McClung, from the state of California. So as you could see, our reach is broad. And again, we're glad that you're here with us. So we're going to jump right in. We have 30 minutes, and it will be a powerful time, and we do not want to waste any time. So I will begin with our board member, Marita Borjoli. And Marita, I'll ask that you introduce yourself and just start out by sharing with us what inspired you to begin your journey of advocacy with dialysis patient citizens. Marita?
Hi, Hi, everyone. Thank you, Yolanda. My name is Marita Bourgeois. Again, I serve as a board member for Dialysis Patient Citizens. I'm also the president of DPC's Education Center. And before doing that, I was a patient ambassador for my state and for my center where I received dialysis. I was born with two kidneys, a healthy baby, and then I had an infection where they had to remove one of my kidneys. And so as I grew up with one. I led a pretty healthy lifestyle. You know, my parents took me to the doctor. Um, they didn't shield me from the kidney community, but what they were trying to do was, treat me as I was a normal person. So I just lived life as a normal person. It wasn't until I got into adulthood that I decided to take health a bit more seriously. I decided to lose some weight. I had a daughter at the time and I wanted to be more active. And so by doing that, I decided to get a physical done. And is when I went to get my yearly physical done, is when I found out that I was actually in stage 4 kidney disease. I didn't feel sick at the time. And so it was a shocker to me. Shortly after that, I started to learn a bit more about kidney disease, and then I found out that I was going to have to decide on what center I was going to go to receive dialysis. And it was a troubling time for me, being a young mom. I'm a business owner also in New York. And so I was kind of, I guess when people say they just kind of was thrown into kidney disease, that's what pretty much happened to me. And so I did dialysis for about 2 years, so I do have the experience of, growing up thinking that everything was okay, and then also finding out about CKD in our CKD community.
Marita, thank you. And as one of our, as you mentioned, board members, also patient ambassador, today, as we speak about our advocacy efforts nationwide here at DPC, we want to give special attention to our annual fly-in, which is also called Advocacy Day. Can you just take us through what that was like for you? Your first time going to Capitol Hill as an ambassador to the place you are now as a board member and an experienced
Okay, so
ambassador.
when I was on dialysis, like I was saying, I was not familiar about, being a CKD patient. When I started dialysis, I really didn't have the information that I needed. I felt that I was actually really very ignorant to the community or the process of health insurance. I would ask other patients, their advice, and they would give me a brief, summary of what I was going through, but I wanted to be a part of a community. I wanted to know more. So I decided to go searching online, and I was looking for an organization that I could connect to. I wanted to have an organization that could teach me what I really wanted to know. And after viewing, a few different organizations, a few different websites, DPC came up. And I was able to see that they were teaching patients like myself about how to take care of myself, how to apply for proper health insurance, answering the questions that I need as far as how I can go about living a normal life and saving my life. So I decided to apply to become a patient ambassador. And then after doing that, they taught me about health fairs and how to give out pamphlets to help my other fellow patients. And so after applying to be a patient ambassador, I decided to apply for their yearly fly-in. I was hoping I was going to get chosen because this was going to give me the opportunity to venture into a world that was pretty much unknown to me, the world of advocacy, the world of other people fighting for people like myself. And to see that DPC was a patient-led board, that really meant a lot to me because that meant that there was other people that knew exactly what my story was. And so I did apply. I told them about myself. I told them how I was helping my community, and I was chosen. So the first year that I was chosen to come in for the fly-in, I was nervous. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who I was going to meet. And after getting to DC and then meeting the other board members that were serving DPC and other patients like myself that was there, they welcomed me. They welcomed me with open arms. They helped me not feel as nervous as I was going in. I was able to see that everybody was patients. They were like me. They knew what I was going through or had an idea of the fears that I had. They also were there to help me understand more about lawmakers and how important it is to understand your insurance and the laws that are taking place to help protect us and sometimes not protect us. And so my first year going there, they educated me on how I was going to speak to my lawmakers. This was the chance that I was going to be able to share my story and tell them what other patients like myself was going through, especially in my state of New York. And so it was really just an amazing experience for me that first year of me coming there and then leading to where I am now.
Wonderful. And I have witnessed you serve as a mentor for incoming patient ambassadors. So, what a journey. Jennifer McClung, one of our dedicated patient ambassadors, if you could share with us what it means for you personally to share your story and your kidney journey, share what that is for you personally. And then, if you would also speak to us about your first time attending Advocacy Day and how you felt doing that, walking into that space, and how that is now that you are an experienced ambassador. If you could just walk us through that journey.
Thank you, Lana. For me, being a patient ambassador advocate, it gives me the opportunity to take my adversity and turn them into advocacy. Being someone with kidney disease, I've gone through multiple complications. I've lost part of my hearing, part of my vision, and I still to this day have heart condition. But I knew that others had gone through what I have gone through, that there are thousands in this country that deal with kidney disease and are on dialysis, that I would be able to be that voice to speak up for the ones that felt that they couldn't speak out. Uh, I remember applying to go for the fly-in, and being given the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. And I always felt this drive to be that advocate, but at the same time, I felt like, is this really right? Is this really my calling? The second I flew in to Washington, D.C., I got this overwhelming feeling of this is where the laws and bills are made. This is where change can happen. And getting to meet the rest of the members of Dallas Patient Citizens was incredible. We all came together sharing a similar story with kidney disease and being on dialysis and the struggles that we had gone through. But we were there as a collective to come together and to make a change for the better. I remember the first time I actually got to go to the Hill and walk in and looking at all the offices and knowing that these offices were filled with the different legislators and representatives, you know, some from New York and others, California and so on. And getting to go and talk to them, look them in the eye and tell my story, it is a incredible and rewarding feeling. It's also very humbling knowing that I am the one speaking up for the many. And I remember after I got done that first time, I came back to our hotel and it was you, Yolanda, that I walked up to and I started crying because I was just filled with such emotion of just elated, but also just like, I can't believe I just did this incredible thing.
Wow. Sometimes it's good to just take a moment and take in and absorb what we just heard. So, Marita and Jennifer, thank you so much. And I wanted to just take a pause because I do remember that moment. And, it's inspiring to say the least. But I walk away from Advocacy Day myself as the grassroots manager. And I can't wait to get back to work, right? Because we've done so much and there's so much more to do. And you all inspire one another. So, you shared with us what it was like to walk into those offices for the first time. And now both of you, I witness, serve as exemplars and mentors for others. What does it mean for you knowing that you're not just speaking for yourself, that your story is basically a vessel? Can you talk to us about that? What it means to know, Jennifer, as you said, you're making a difference for other people. I'll stay with you first and then I'll go to Marita.
Getting to go in there and speak for others, it's not a weight. It's this rewarding feeling knowing that when I share my story and I share my struggles, that I am going to help give a chance to have I should say hope, to give a better quality of life to those who are like me in the kidney community. And it's also, you're making a connection to that person, the lawmaker, either the aide or the, person, the senator or representative themselves. You're making a connection with them and helping them to understand what it's like to be someone with a chronic illness and why we need these bills and laws passed and how it could help so many of their constituents.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you. Marita, can you share with us what that impact is for you? Because you're making an impact, but how does it impact you knowing that your voice is representing many?
It's truly humbling for me. I do remember growing up and my father always telling me to become a part of a group that I could represent or a group that I could connect to. And being a dialysis patient and then becoming a transplant patient, DPC has allowed me to connect with our lawmakers. They've given me the opportunity that I probably wouldn't have had before that or have been able to learn about how to speak to them. So being able to go to DC and connect with our lawmakers, connect with their staff, gives me this humbling feeling of where I'm not representing just myself, but I'm representing my community, other people that are like me. And it's truly humbling as well to see that when you go there, a lot of your lawmakers do know about kidney disease. They know about dialysis. They know about, some of our suffering that we go through. And they have family members and they also have friends that have gone through what you go through. So when you're able to go there and personally connect with them, it's truly an honor for you to have the opportunity to just speak out and get them to understand a little bit more about what you're going through. Because through this whole process, I've learned that you could tell people that you have kidney disease. And a lot of times they nod in agreements with you, but a lot of times they really don't understand. I'm a salon owner where I have other clients, and I've learned that they knew that I was on, dialysis, but they didn't really understand the process of it. So you going up there to speak to your legislators gives us the opportunity to say, hey, we're on this machine for a certain amount of time to keep us alive. It's not just a treatment, but it's keeping us alive. And so when I go there, I put that purpose, first. I put that in my mind that I have to get this person to somewhat kind of feel what we're going through and to connect with them to help us, not just myself, but my whole community. So DPC has allowed me to have that voice, and I have that understanding of knowing that I represent thousands, I represent millions when I do get the opportunity to go. And when I meet other patient ambassadors for the first time, I also know that I have to pay it forward. Your mom, Yolanda, has taught me a lot. When I first came in the first year, and also Nancy Scott, I was really nervous. And, getting to know them, they roped me in and pretty much was like, look, you're going through this. This is not foreign to you. And all you have to do is express yourself. All you have to do is just let them know how you're feeling, let them know what's going on and why you need them to pass certain bills and why you need them on our side. And so I do the same for other patient ambassadors that are coming into our community. I want to encourage them to, not to be afraid, just speak up, learn about what you're going through and also learn how to express yourself to our lawmakers.
Marita, thank you so much. Uh, you're not alone. My mom roped me in also. So we have that in common, and hopefully she roped in many others. That's what we do here at DPC.
That's
And
it.
we have a saying that we're all in this together. So
We
thank you
are.
for sharing that. Jennifer, if you can speak to, you have both been to Advocacy Day. You've been to Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill a number of times. And sometimes in the world, people become cynical. Tell me your thoughts. When you show up on Capitol Hill this year and you return the next year, um, how do you feel knowing that maybe this year that bill doesn't get changed or passed, but next year we know that it will, or there's a stronger possibility that it will? Can you talk to us about that mindset? What is it that makes you go back, and where does that faith or belief or that drive come from? Let's go to Jennifer.
For me, I always have a positive mindset. And so if we go there, I've gone 3 times now, and we have to go back again and again and go, you know what? That's okay. There's always an opportunity to share my story, maybe tell it a little different, and to help make a connection to that person. That, you know, over time people do change. And something might have happened. You don't want anything bad, but it's like something maybe clicked all of a sudden and they go, you know what? It makes sense now. You go, okay, yes. And, I tell people all the time, I don't give up. I rise up. And so I will continue to be that advocate to rise up because I don't, I always will have hope and the positivity that my words are going to get through and that changes will eventually happen.
Yeah, thank you. I remember my mom going a few years, and at that time it was a Medicare Advantage. And I share that I opened the mailbox one day because they went on Capitol Hill a few years, and I started shouting, "Oh my God, Medicare Advantage, dialysis patients are eligible." And folks were standing around like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "You don't understand. I know the people that made this happen." So to see those victories, and we work at the federal level, but we also work at the statewide level, and to see those victories happen, to see you all go on to Capitol Hill or, give testimony at state hearings, and to see bills passed unanimously, and it's beyond joyful. And that is what we mean when we say patient led. Marita, if I could just come back to you and have you briefly share what it means. You mentioned the board being patient led. What does that mean? Because that's something that dialysis patient citizens is known for. We are patient led. Can you speak about that coming from member to board member?
Coming in as a member and a patient and knowing that the organization that I serve is led by other patients, it's truly empowering. It gives me the opportunity to reconnect as well with those who are not just as there as representatives. We live it. We live the life as patients. And so when we're able to go and speak to our lawmakers, we're able to be, compassionate, and we're able to be passionate about what we're asking them to do. Yes, sometimes, our bills may not get passed right away. They may not get passed, and a lot of times they do. And as a patient, I put that first. I remember that, when I was on dialysis, and then now as a transplant recipient, that there were other people like myself before me that made that chance happen for me. They were the person that was going up to the hill. They were the ones advocating for people like myself. And so I always put that in my mind when I'm going to speak again every year. And and I hope that they remember me. And if they don't remember me, they remember people like Jennifer as well, and other patients, that are saying a similar thing to them, because we are patient led. It's truly empowering, and it allows us to connect and to push, for these bills to get passed, because as patients, we represent so many other patients, and we need them to do that. So the more times that we actually get a chance to get up there, you connect with these lawmakers, you connect with their staff, and they remember you a lot of times. Sometimes you go there and you're so surprised that they remember you from the previous years that you've gone. Or they'll say, "Oh, I remember Nancy Scott. She came up here." Or "I remember Diane Brisbane," and you'll hear other common names of other people that have been doing the same fight for you. And so it's truly empowering, and it's a responsibility that I welcome.
Thank you. And you all are also educators. Many people are listening in, and you are speaking about sharing your story to make an impact, but you all are also educating, because lawmakers are people just as we are, and they are there because they truly want to make a difference, but they can't know everything. So it's your voice that not only shares your story, but educates and informs so that they can also serve as advocates when it's time to make those decisions. So right now, I hate to get ready to close out because this is just really good information. If you both can take maybe 30 seconds, someone out there is listening or will listen in at a later time. They have a story to tell, but they may be nervous. They may not know how. They may not know how to start. Jennifer, if you could just really look into that camera and speak to that person or those persons.
If you feel that drive to want to potentially be an advocate, I say do it. You won't regret it. Your story is you're taking back that power. Your story can change lives of people just like you. Being a part of Team DPC is an incredible, wonderful experience that you will never regret.
Thank you. Rita, it's your turn. Look into that camera, please, and speak to that person who has the story, but they're nervous. They don't know how to step forward and come from behind the curtains.
Oh, I was nervous too as a patient, and I can connect with you, and I want to encourage our patients to come forth and share your story. Your story is powerful. Become a member. Have a community that's there to support you, educate you, and team up with you, for a greater cause. And if you still don't have the strength to do it for yourself, do it for the future to come. Your children, your grandchildren, your family members. Become a patient ambassador under DPC. We need more voices out there to share, their life experiences. And we need you to come, and encourage our lawmakers to be on our side as well. So whether you're nervous, that's okay. We welcome you, and we will be your strength behind your story as well.
I love it. Thank you. And we cannot forget the amazing fun that we have in DC. It's work, but we do give time for engagement and the relationships that are formed. My greatest joy is watching everyone walk through the doors of the hotel and to see people greeting one another because you may have seen each other on a Zoom call or you were in DC together a previous year, but to see the connectivity and the lifelong friendships that are formed, that really just kind of does it all for me. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Marita. Thank you to my entire team that I work with every day at Dialysis Patient Citizens. We have an incredible leader, Haran Jamgochian, and a team that is small but powerful. And we are Dialysis Patient Citizens. Please join us. You can visit us on the website, which is www.dialysispatients.org. You can follow us, like us, share all about us on Instagram as well as Facebook. And we also have our education center. Nancy Scott, I always do this. I would like to turn it back over to you for the last few seconds. And if you could just give us a few lines about the education center and let people know where they can access that information. Thank you.
Woo, well, if you didn't feel anything from this, then you better check your pulse, everybody, because this was very powerful. Yolanda, thank you as a facilitator. You are top notch. Jennifer and Marita, your passion is contagious, and this is exactly what we look for. If you want to ever reach me, you can directly email me at education@dialysispatients.org. I am Nancy Scott. Our next roundtable will be October the 1st at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will talk about infection prevention. Thank you to all who joined our roundtable today, and we will see you next month. Please be safe. Thank you and have a great day.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you.